Okay, so the second match is gonna be between Shelty and laior. Since the first game is gonna be played on Marsh, and the gods are gonna be set on ISIS, so we are having plenty of those Egyptians today. And this is a matchup that we have seen today already, so this time it's gonna be played a bit differently. Alright, so let's have a look. Plenty of course, water buffaloes at the bottom, they are gonna be deer at the top side. And this is exactly how I like to actually see. This is played well. So even though you might be thinking that it's gonna be easier to be coming for the deers, once the hunt spawns like behind your base, you always should be coming for the hunt in front of your base. Because that way you are protecting your economy for a bit later, in case you are forced to basically fall back and you need some kind of protection, or rather some cushion in your economy with something that is safe and you cannot really reach anything else. Otherwise, of course, he's having completely horrible gold. Because there's absolutely no protection to it whatsoever. So that is not exactly ideal, but he's the set, so he's probably the one who will be aggressive, I would be expecting. The tower is very far away, TC even further pretty much. So yep, this is definitely an opportunity for laior. How he could be somehow obnoxious to Shelty fairly soon. Otherwise, we're gonna be scouting also on the left side. You can see the hyena already discovering plenty of gold mines. And also the TC on the left part of the map with a few hippos for the blue player. So that's something and somewhere where he would probably be like naturally gravitating to, as we're gonna be switching into laior. And how is his map looking? Okay, so his gold is, as opposed to the opponent, completely safe. It's not gonna be any kind of threat for him whatsoever. You can see even having the sentry tower right next to it and protection of the wood line quite a bit, but he also does have quite a similar and nice gold mine behind the tree line, but still fairly close. Fairly close, and you can see right now the difference as he's coming for the deer, but where he does have the water buffaloes in pretty much the same position. So at this point, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, as both are gonna be fairly safe. And literally basically the same position for both. For both of the hunting spots. This item scouting in the middle, as he has already discovered both of his TCs, right? Right one is gonna be, well, probably not really giving him too much, apart from potentially good trade route a bit later in the game. And the one in the front is not really anything all that major either. Even though there is a gold mine in the middle of the base, or the middle of the map, it's nothing all that major as far as this TC is concerned. And the map control from it is nothing really huge, so I'm gonna be curious how the other one for the opponent is. In the meantime though, let's check what kind of rally could be decided in the game, or helping decide the game here. That's better chariot hit points again. This time it's only 5% and not basically 10% as it was in the last game. But still, every percentage of course counts, as he's converting something here. Shelty, so let's see what that is, and it's gonna be actually piggy. Alright, so it's actually nicely played. And what you could be doing as a set, maybe it's a bit riskier, but it could be a bit more annoying for the opponent, is basically try to steal something like this. Because this is a hunt that laior will be wanting to go for, as it's fairly close, and it's like the natural next step for him. Like this hunt, or this one, or this one. And if you basically are gonna be stealing a few piggies from there, he's just gonna be making life quite a bit more difficult for him, as he will have to move quite a bit earlier, and you might be also discovering a bit sooner where your opponent is gonna be gathering, and then you can be also somehow abusing him through all of those animals that you're gonna be having. Yep, this is also a pretty good idea by Shelty, trying to blind his opponent as much as possible, as you're gonna be looking at some other relics somewhere across the map. There's gonna be one for better village wood and gold gather rates. That's very nice indeed, as Shelty is already taken the one. That's the one for, yeah, that's the one for the extra hit points for chariot archers. Definitely recognizing how important it is. Faster Mythology training time, not exactly important. And favorite tackle, well, everything free is good, but let's not say that this is gonna be any kind of huge game changer. Yet we are at 3.5 minutes right now, as Girl of Hippolyta is already gonna be there, and her pants are probably gonna be falling off from that. As we are gonna be looking at maybe a difference in the build orders in there, but the gods are different as well, so we are probably gonna be expecting something a bit different from both of them. 6 here on the gold, for the opponent's already 8 on the gold. He's already having quite nicely spaced piggies, in case there was some kind of attempt at whatever, but that's not gonna be the case, because the opponent is ISIS and therefore doesn't have Ptach. So Bust is halfway there, with Shelty being halfway there as well, so basically advancing at pretty much the same time. So I'm kind of curious what's going to be resulting from that. Looking at Shelty having the villages in the front, and Pharaoh coming forward as well, I wouldn't be all that surprised if he actually went for the TC right off the bat. Yeah, he is. You can see he's already moving for it. Exactly waypoint coming forward for this TC. We could have gathered for a bit longer, but he's repositioning the villagers in here, and he's gonna be coming for the town center as soon as possible, whereas his opponent is not apparently having any kind of plan like that just now. Even though he could be coming at least for this safe TC. Shelty coming there, and oh well. Oh no, laior Shelty. He's right now basically trying to exactly see. Shelty is exactly trying to see if his opponent is going for the TC or not, so that he could shift in send probably the Pharaoh. I think it's a really good idea. I've already mentioned it in previous game. Some of the previous games, that it would be really useful. Right now he's gonna be losing the vision at exactly the important time. Exactly the important time where he could have been actually going for the shift in send. So that's, of course, unlucky for Shelty. But I'm kind of happy thinking that maybe laior could have been waiting for that. He maybe could have been slightly waiting for that, because you can see he's having already surplus of gold. So it's not impossible that he was fully expecting what's going to happen. So kind of well played, as a lot of those animals are already present, but I'm kind of interested if maybe he's going to be using at least the piggies as a food source. Almost seems like that he might. Almost seems like that he actually might be waiting for them in there. He's converting even more animals here to help him defend and in the early game. But of course the TC is gonna be there. So 2 TC faster heroic from both players. It seems like, whereas for the opponent at the top side, we are not seeing the armory yet. So is it gonna be something a bit different? I'm not entirely certain. Let's switch into Shelty. He's not exactly gathering a lot of food. He doesn't have pickaxe or hand axe, but he does have a lot of food anyway. And he's coming, yeah, exactly for the piggies. You can see he's using them for food. So, yeah, he does want to advance as soon as possible. That's not really all that much of a doubt about that, but he hasn't started building the armor yet as his opponent. As laior seems to be a bit more ready for that. You can see he's having much more food on his account just about now. Oh, well, that's maybe slightly unlucky. Though he already does have the granary finished, and it's not really all that far behind and all that far away, so it's definitely not bad. Definitely not bad. It's not gonna be as bad as it potentially could have been, but he could be maybe sending a few of them on the second hippo, because at this point he's having like, how many? 17 villagers on one hippo. That's a bit of overkill right there, and he definitely will have to be careful, because those villagers could be coming idle for quite a bit. As right now he's desperately trying to get as much food as possible, as those rhinos or other hippos do have enough. About like 700 in total for them. It should be much more than is actually needed for the heroic age. In the meantime, Shelty is right now going to be finishing with the armory as well, though he doesn't need to hurry all that much. He didn't really need to do this, because he's still basically right now missing 300 gold, or rather the other resource, food. Well, food is right now pretty much gold for him. That's how important it is. But he could have continued maybe on the piggies to be a bit faster into advance, as right now he is going to be switching already into wood, because he is going to be switching into chariot archers as soon as he advances into the next age. He's still having plenty of villages on the hunt there, as he is destroying all the animals, not really being aggressive at all. As of course the red player is kinda just basically dropping obelisks everywhere. Shelty is gonna be clicking. Oh, he clicked into Sekmet for a moment in there. It was apparently just a misclick. Switched into Neftis right there. He does have quite a solid scouting all around the map, so he basically knows everything that he needs to. And of course right now laior is gonna be coming for the prosperity, so that he can advance into the next age with quite a solid amount of gold, which is gonna be exactly needed, as he is already 3/4 there, and he's gonna be probably dropping a migdol about here so that he can have access to his front TC. Definitely seems viable and logical, but what I'm worried about in his gameplay is basically the lack of any kind of wall-in. He's gonna be just very open absolutely everywhere. Through the left side, through the middle, even on the right side. So I don't really like that all that much, and it could be a really risky gameplay and risky proposition for him overall. For the opponent, once he advances, of course, he's gonna be dropping migdol next to the TC. Depending on the situation, he's gonna be maybe trying to take the gold, or he's gonna be basically fully defensive right behind the TC. At this point, since he's advancing second, I'm expecting the latter option, so basically building migdol behind the TC. That seems really fairly safer, especially with the ancestors being always a possibility from the ISIS. Yep, you can see exactly he's taking the safest route, which is making plenty of sense at this stage. And well, right now Scorpion Man going around, and maybe gonna be discovered in time. So let's see if maybe Ancestors are gonna be cast by laior, or if it's gonna be taken by Shelty, because you can see the difference in the score. 200 points. 200 points of difference coming for Shelty. And is that really only because of some upgrades maybe? Hendax and pickaxe for him. laior has already dropped the Migdol right next to the PC. Also kinda as expected. Oh well. You can see the difference. laior is not having Hendax and pickaxe. So that could be explaining quite a bit why Shelty is having such an advantage, and why, of course, he's so much better off on the score. So yeah, Scorpion Man, short-lived. Short-lived indeed. He definitely paid for his mistake in there, coming into the middle of the priest. It was well played, of course, by laior, as he was exactly at the correct placement. And unfortunately for Shelty, he just wasn't paying enough attention. Okay, Siegewares coming forward. Of course, Chariot Archers with the extra hit points from Girdle Hippolyta are gonna be a bit stronger than the opponent ones. Let's see what the difference is. It's 5%, so basically right now, that's 103, 13 hit points more than for the opponent. Whereas the opponent is having, well, +9. He's having 99. Where is he actually getting the +9 from?
And which into
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure, but anyway, that of course means that the difference is only 4 hit points, but that could be basically all the difference between a dead Chariot Archer or a living Chariot Archer. Because of course, as long as the unit is having at least 1 hit point, it's still gonna be quite useful and still gonna be dealing the full damage. And it's something that you really need to be aware. And why even such comparably small advantages like 5% are gonna be important. Alright, so there we go. Already army getting a bit stronger in there, especially with the Siegewares coming forward from laior as well. Whereas Shelty seems to be a bit lagging in there. You can see he's not even producing yet, but he is definitely ready for everything. And right now Shelty should be really aware that Ancestors are probably gonna be coming. As long as, maybe even just as soon as now. No, right now with the second siege tower. I think this is a pretty solid right now place for attack for laior. As we go with the shifting sands, this is very well timed. Very well timed, because Shelty is exactly realizing what I'm basically talking about. That this was an attacking army. This was an attacking army, and he's gonna be completely screwing him over by this. Because not only is he gonna be losing maybe even the Scorpion Man in there, but he lost one of the siege towers that was crucial to the attack in there. He's gonna be losing a priest, and second was already dead. And even though it's gonna be resulting in a few losses maybe here, it's still completely stumping and stopping the attack from laior on the TC. And of course, casting the Ancestors, so it's very well played. Thinking ahead by Shelty and on his feet in there. And laior will have to try again a bit later. But that is already gonna be a time when Shelty is gonna be having a hugely better army. And is gonna be much better prepared for what is to come. As all of those units by laior hidden inside are just trying to escape. You can see, well, all of those units. That literally one priest that survived all of the battle here. As all of the rest just basically died. Yeah, but well, at least this one is gonna be surviving, and that's 100 gold. So let's just not say that it's not worth it.
And
okay, so right now I'm just gonna be also waiting for Shelty to cast the Ancestors first. Once he actually realizes that the battle is coming, he should be always casting them first, because it's just gonna be obvious what's gonna happen. And he wouldn't be able to cast his own once laior blocks them through Eclipse. So I really would be fully expecting him to be faster again, as he was, so with the shifting sands. This is though getting a pretty scary army. Sending, of course, the siege towers first, so that they can absorb all the damage from the Chariot Archers, who are already heavy. Already heavy. I was just maybe, right now basically checking if maybe there is already Copper Shield, but so far not. And come on. Shelty, you should be casting the Ancestors, because this is right now heading into the battle. Because, to be honest, this cannot go wrong. It basically cannot go wrong if he casts the Ancestors. Oh yeah, he didn't, so he's gonna be having quite significant problems, because you can see laior is very well singling out the priests. At least he was singling out one of them. He right now needs to kill all of those. Oh, that's some despicable micro by Shelty. Sending all of those most important units into harm's way, so that they are actually easily slaughtered. So right now, those Ancestors from red will be pretty strong, to be honest. This was not really well done by Shelty at all. It was actually very badly done. So I'm gonna be just having a quick look around the minimap in there, as Shelty has captured the 30C. right on the left side of the map. He's also on the gold mine in there, as you can see. Whereas we are looking on the battle in here, where he doesn't even have enough gold for all the mercenaries. So he is gonna be having quite a big problem right now with all of those siege towers. And he shouldn't be escaping. No, just don't. This is a mistake by laior. This is a huge mistake. I'm not entirely certain what he's actually trying to do here. As of course, he's gonna be absorbing a lot of damage. Whereas not dealing the damage as well. He is... Well, right now I really think this is gonna be costing him a TC. Absolutely certainly. Absolutely certainly this caused him actually killing the TC. This was a huge misplay by laior right there. He should have just continued dealing damage. He would have lost them as well. But I'm absolutely certain he would have killed the TC in the process. Because Shelty just didn't have all that many villages and all that many mercenaries to kill all of them at once. So basically, in the numbers, he would be having much better chance, or basically dealing with the TC and destroying it. Right now he didn't, and Shelty is definitely gonna be punishing him for that. Oh well. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Meathook, no, they're not really weaker, but he was having about 2. He was having like 2 villages against the siege tower, so there wasn't any kind of reason why they should be really falling soon or anything like that. So it was just Shelty not really paying enough attention to that and really risking a lot. And he was definitely saved by laior not being fully committed to the attack. And right now, with all of those ancestors that are gonna be coming for Shelty, and only 2 priests basically being present for laior and not really all that much of an army, I don't expect he's gonna be having all that much of a chance in here. Especially since he's 1 TC down. Yeah, this is exactly the TC that I was talking about a bit before. That's a lot of villages. Could be using some more extra mining camps if this is not gonna be empowered. And well, a bit of idle time in there for laior as well, unfortunately. And more idle time on the right side, it seems like. But of course, with ancestors right now coming forward from Shelty, this is gonna be getting increasingly difficult for laior to somehow control the situation, because he is gonna be quite heavily outnumbered, and he just doesn't have any kind of solid claim on how he could be getting even this TC for himself. Okay, right now he's trying to take it, I'm thinking. But of course, Shelty, look at these resources, 970, 970. He's gonna be heading into the Mythical Age himself. But yeah, right now laior desperately trying to get the TC, thinking that this is like one of the last chances that he could be getting it. As if this doesn't work, which it quite probably doesn't, and he is even using villages to basically get rid of all the heavy chariots in there. That's not gonna be working too well, especially with all of the ancestors still being present and the reinforcements coming forward all the time. Yep, even the Pharaoh is not gonna be helping him, and Shelty is gonna be winning this game and coming into the lead 1-0. It was really well played by Shelty. That shift in sands that completely screwed laior over. But after that wasn't well played that well. It wasn't really that well played. He definitely could have guessed and could have cast the ancestors before laior did, making the situation a whole lot more easier for him and a whole lot harder for laior. And that attack on the TC, that was really deadly. That was underestimated by Shelty. He should have actually sent a lot more villages there from the wood line at the bottom, but he didn't really. I'm not certain if they were all here, but I think they were. And he was losing, or rather using, just a few of the villages on getting rid of the siege towers, and he was basically just lucky that laior unfortunately sent 2 of those away, scared of like 1-2 villages and 1 mercenary. Whereas if he didn't, then he would have taken down the TC, and the game could have gone a bit differently. Because of course Shelty wouldn't be having the advantage of numbers, wouldn't be having any kind of such a strong stronghold in there. But the question still was if it would be really any kind of huge help, as he still was advancing into Horus already, Shelty, at this point. And it didn't seem like that laior was just having strong enough economy to be able to produce enough. But, well, look at the echo. He was he was housed. He was housed, I think, even maybe beyond those TCs or not. That's gonna be 140. No, that's gonna be alright. That's only the destroy TCs at resign. Okay. But still. Could be using probably 1 extra Migdol or some extra units. Some extra barracks for a few more extra units, because he did have the resources. So the game probably would have gone a whole lot differently. He was able to take down the TC, but he didn't, and that means that Shelty is taking the lead in the match. Okay, Shelty is also gonna be winning most of it, just the economy going for laior. Even though he didn't get more resources at all. I really completely can't understand this, but I'm really thinking it's gonna be having to do something with the resources at the end of the game. which at this point laior had better, because Shelty just spent everything into Mythic right at the end. But still kinda weird. Still kinda weird, and you can see much more military for Shelty. And it definitely paid off. He was able to kill more units through that, of course. And even more researches that definitely help as well. He was having, for example, the hand axe and pickaxe quite a bit earlier than his opponent, and at that crucial stage, in the early classical age and until you advance into the heroic age, that really makes quite a bit of difference in what you can produce once you reach the next age. Okay then. There's gonna be a GG here as well. I can see the military right now from laior. This is where he attacked with the ancestors. He was having a very solid army on top of that, but it just absolutely did not work. And then Shelty, well, was just able to punish him for that, as laior wasn't able to come back with enough numbers. GG.